What if every failure and every setback that you experienced this year so far, or the last couple of years, was perfectly manifested by you? What if your subconscious mind was just working against you the whole time? When I say working against you, is working against your desired reality. But here's the thing, life doesn't happen at you, it happens from you, right? Because you create it. Therefore, it should come out from you, not anywhere else, because you create within your mind. But it feels like you're watching the video in reverse and nothing makes sense to you. It's almost like you're getting exactly what you don't want, even though consciously you're asking, this is what I want to 10x my revenue, I want to grow my income, and I want to, live the life of my dream, but it's literally working against you. So in this video, I'll tell you these 3 secrets that I personally use and I actually teach my clients to how to stop this nonsense so that you can actually start manifesting what you want, your dreams and your revenue and everything. And in order to achieve that, we're going to need to tap into what I call $1 million frequency. And this is exactly what I teach, and then I help people to tap into the $1 million frequency so that they can 10x their revenue, whether it's a 7-figure or 8-figure, and grow their businesses, and as well as be the best version of yourself, becoming the most confident version and living the life of your dream. So, my name is NEMOTO, I'm a TEDx speaker, and I'm also a mindset coach, and I'm one of the best mindset coaches in the world, and I will teach you how you can literally rewire the code of your brain so that you can radiate a completely different frequency. So 1 year ago, I was so stuck making 10K, and then I was done with that. And then it had been for a long time, I was stuck at 10, 20K per month, right? So I was making about $100,000 per year, and I was stuck. Roughly making 10, 15K or something like that, monthly income. And I was so stuck, but consciously I knew I can do better. And consciously I do have a potential to 5x my income or 10x my income and then start making millions of dollars. And that was my goal, and I was so locked in. But I've tried everything. I've tried marketing, copywriter, I've hired a different copywriter, I've tried it with an agency, I've changed a landing page, I've changed the funnel, I launched a different everything. I've tried them all. But it was still the same result. And I was so frustrated because knowing the fact that I can do better and then getting the opposite result was so frustrating. I was stuck in the negative reverse manifestation loop, right? I wanted to, it's like, this is me. And then I was like, hey, I want to go to million, let's go, let's fucking go. And then I was stuck here, 10K per month. Sad. The fuck is that? I look like a cockroach. Anyway, so I was so stuck, right? But this is the negative loop that I was in, because I was in this reverse manifestation, which was everything was working against me, even though I was taking actions. I was investing in myself and everything, but then nothing was working for me. And then I stepped back and again realized that, hey, life is born from you, from me. I'm creating this. And at first it was a little bit tough to swallow it because, well, I didn't choose this. But the reality was, I was the one making. But when I made this shift, everything changed. So when I understood this, literally this, everything changed. Then I started making 50K per month and then 100K per month, right? So I basically 10x'd my income in 3 months. And then now this year I made $2 million so far. And to break it down for you, one of the biggest reasons why people get stuck in the reverse manifestation and feel stuck all the time is because people are so attached to the struggles. Have you realized that a lot of people actually talk about like how difficult it was for them to succeed? Like they're like the best struggle stories all the time. And I don't think I struggled that much compared to people who's literally going through like, near-death experiences and then, wars and like really, really difficult times. I don't look at myself and like I struggled, because I also at the same time, I'm not attached to it. But I was attached to the story that I wrote, which was just, I'm stuck. And then everything I tried, I failed. And then it became one of my thought process in my subconscious. So you see, the reason why subconscious mind is so powerful is because 99% is your subconscious. So if you look at that, let's see, this is the entire consciousness. And this is conscious. This is subconscious. And this is 99%. It's 1%. Right? So if you actually look at that, the 1% is so little compared to the 99%. So this one is so big, then the conscious mind has almost no power to influence your reality. That's why every time that we try affirmation journaling and a lot of things, it seems like not working. It's like, well, I'm doing affirmations like a moron. Like I'm like, you know, I sound like a crazy person in front of the mirror, but then nothing is working. Why is that? A lot of people talk about scripts. If you script down the journal or whatever, and then you get what you want. No, that's a lie. I'm telling you, that is a lie. Because if you think about it, we all can say, hey, I know I can do it, right? I can make millions. I know I have a talent and I know I can 5x my income. I'm confident. You can say all of that because it's a conscious mind, right? But then subconscious, if your subconscious is not seeing that or if not accepting that, then nothing will change. So like I said, a lot of people unconsciously attach to the pains and struggles and this feeling stuckness. And if you think about it, that's weird, right? That's obviously weird. Like, why would you, you're not David Goggins. Like, why would you like get attached to the fucking struggles?
Real talk. Some of you motherfuckers piss me the fuck off.
But this is a very deep in your unconscious mind that you have these shames, guilt, and pains and traumas and everything. You're so attached to an emotional level. It's almost like you're addicted to the drug. That's how heavy this is, right? So when people give meaning to everything, and that's why it becomes meaningful. Once it's meaningful for you, you think it's important, right? The way that, for example, I don't know, like let's say this necklace is so important. I used to have a necklace from my grandma, and then she's already gone and she's in heaven, rest in peace. But this is not the one that I used to have, and then it broke. Let's say this one is the necklace that my grandma gave it to me, right? Then it's very important for me because it has a meaning. And this one, I don't have any meanings. I just got it and I thought it was really, really beautiful and I had alignment. But it doesn't really have meaning for me. But that necklace for me was very important because my grandma gave it to me. My grandma gave it to me, therefore it was very important for me. So whether it's a positive or a negative, we give meaning, and something meaningful, something contains meaning, deep meaning, is important for us. So if your pain and struggles contains the very important meaning for you, then whether it's a negative or positive, you could be very attached to that. So for instance, like the fact that you went struggles, right? And then it was so important for you because XYZ reason, therefore you're still attached to it. And because of that thought process in your subconscious, now you actually unconsciously believe that you need to struggle. You like struggle, you love struggle, you want to attract it. And therefore, like, all you see in front of the table all the time, like, you manifest struggles. And then if you're stuck, and you're in a negative loop, and then, you know, your income is not growing, even though you're working from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then I have, you know, people come to my coaching, like, well, we were doing like $20,000 a month. And I'm like, you know, waking up at 4 a.m. and like hitting the gym at 5 a.m. and then working. And then the reason why you're stuck is not because of the lack of discipline. Clearly you do. But it's the way of thinking. You are so attached to the struggles and the suffering and all of that because it's so important for you. So it's almost like unconsciously you're thinking that the struggles and hardship is the best part of the success. So I am struggling, I am suffering, therefore I get my, like, I don't know, like owner of the badge or something like that, and it's like, you went through so much struggles, like, you know, I'll give you a prize, and I thank you very much. So, and that's kind of like what's happening. Therefore, you're not focusing on what you want, because what you actually want in a deep unconscious level is the struggle. And therefore, what you manifest all the time is a struggle. And that's why you created that. Life is born from you. So we need to detach from all these struggles and suffering, and then allow yourself, hey, it's okay to create the quantum jump, and it's almost like effortless success. And then you can be happy and fulfilled and have the freedom, because freedom comes from your mind, not from outside. It means you have to be free from that thinking, oh, I have to work hard, and I have to, I work 12 hours a day, I have to earn success. But you can receive it. You see that belief shift when you can realize that you can actually receive it. And it's okay to receive it because you deserve it. You have to allow yourself to receive, not only earn all the time. So this is called a secondary gain in psychology. So let me ask you something. What do you actually gain from that idea of struggle and idea of feeling stuck? Right? For example, maybe your identity. Oh, I am this hard-working person. I am, so this is like how you see yourself, how you identify yourself. I'm a hard-working person. I work hard. Therefore, my self-worth is validated based on how hard I work, how struggles I went through, and like how hardcore shit that I went through. Or it could be the sympathy or validation. Oh, you're working so hard. You're amazing, man. You're such a great person. And I do believe that it's a great thing to work hard. But if you are sacrificing your soul, then if you're not getting what you want, don't you think it's a different way to achieve what you want? And it's very important to be open about, hey, like you don't need to earn everything. You can actually receive it because God is generous and the universe is fucking infinite. You just need to tap into the same frequency. Nikola Tesla said this: if you want to understand the secret of the universe, think in terms of the energy and vibration frequency. So there's ways to use the magic, your inner psyche, your fucking powerful force within you that you can manipulate chi energy, and then you can manifest whatever you want. But you have to first understand that life is born from you. And what I'm teaching you right now in this video is how you can tap into the $1 million frequency so that you can 10x revenue and then become the most confident version of yourself and literally create the life of your dream. So here's the 3 secrets that I actually implemented, and then when I went to the 10x my income within a 6 months from $100,000 per year to $100,000 per month. Step number 1, identity. So identity, you might be so attached to the identity and up to now, which means who you have been, okay? And then your identity is already designed based on the first 7 years of your life. What does it mean? It means the first 7 years of your life, it decides your identity, it forms your identity because you're in a theta brainwaves all the time. And then at the same time, you're in trance. So you're hypnotized, and then you are downloading all this information into your brain so that you can create 99% of the decision-making pattern, right? So once that subconscious is solid, that's going to be the base of your identity, base of how you create your reality. So most of us struggles because of that. I also came from the family is not rich, right? And I was told every time, I was told every day, like, we don't have the money, and then there was a little fight. So therefore I thought, I'm broke, and I was proud of it. My mind was fucked, but I needed to literally change that, right? Because my identity was broke, right? I identify myself as a broke. I'm not talking about she, he, or hey, or her, or whatever that is. I'm talking about my identity, how I see myself and how I acknowledge myself. It was formed based on my environment. I didn't decide it. I didn't choose it, right? The environment chose this is the identity for you. So now, as an adult, we need to change it. So you want to change your identity to the best version of yourself. Millionaire identity, okay? The millionaire who you want to be. There's a lot of millionaires out there. There's a lot of successful people out there, right? So your own identity, and then you have to understand that this identity shifting will give you what you want. But this is how you create that shift in the record speed. Ask yourself what you're most afraid of, because that fear will reveal what's sabotaging you right now to get what you want, to 10x your revenue. Seriously, you could 10x your revenue next month or today. And I'm not joking. I've seen so many people, I've helped so many people go from 0 to 100K, 10K to 100K, or 0 to $200,000 a month, okay? So how do we create a shift? Ask yourself, what am I afraid of the most? Is it fear of failing? Or maybe is fear of being judged or being misunderstood? You see, I was bullied back then, and You know, back then it was difficult for me, obviously, the couple of years of like bullying experience and when I was like 10 years old, 11 years old. And I became the same adult as having that same fear, right? So I was afraid of being misjudged. I was so afraid of being hated or being picked up. And then I was already 20 something years old, right? It's weird because I was not bullied anymore. You know, I'm not in the same environment, but my mind is still afraid, hiding, escaping. So what are you most afraid of? Reveal what you're most afraid of, and then that is actually sabotaging you from making that change. Who you have been was just an environmental aspect now, but you get to choose who you're becoming. And now whatever you have been avoiding is exactly what you need to challenge yourself. So maybe you already know, oh yeah, this is it. Like maybe social media, or who knows, or maybe changing your business, or changing your offer. But you already know intuitively, you deep down you know it, but you're avoiding it, you're hiding from it, you're escaping from it. So now review that and then face yourself and actually take that aligned action. Now step number 2 is just we have to deprogram that attachment to the fears and struggles and pains and everything. So what does it give you? Hard work, struggles, and fear when you think about it. Okay, let's write that down, okay? Pain, struggles. So I look at my parents and then they were really, really hardworking. And I think it's beautiful. And I respect that. That all the time I tell them like, hey, like, I want you guys to be happy. Like, I want you to be happy. And then all they say is like, yeah, but we gotta, you have to put effort, you have to work hard. And I'm like, yo, you guys are not fucking 30 years old or 40 years old. I don't think it is necessary. Like, I'd rather see you guys, smiling and feeling good. And that makes me feel good, and I just want to support that. So a lot of people, and especially, their older Japanese traditional hard-working spirit, which is amazing. However, we also have to understand that is the reason why we get stuck in this loop, because we unconsciously think that is important. And if we don't work, what does it make you feel? It makes us feel worthless, right? Oh, if I'm not working, if I'm not putting a lot of effort, then I'm worthless, therefore I hate myself. So it's really tied to the deep meaning in identity level and in your self-worth. Therefore, you just have to work hard. You have to work like a slave. And it doesn't matter. If you have a business, if you own a business, then you should be the owner, not the business. But a lot of people actually, business owns them, right? And that's why, sure, I make a lot of money, but I'm free. I'm free from everything. I'm free from what I have. I'm completely detached from the material things and motorcycles and cars and everything I have, because I want freedom. Freedom comes from your mind. That's why you have to understand all these ideas. Don't let those ideas put you in a fucking cage and then live like a slave. You can be fucking free, but you have to understand what is it? What is the creating the cage? How can you be free from all these matrix and ideas and societal condition? Because you are already worthy as who you are, but you have to give yourself that key to break through that cage. And now once you dissolve it, step number 3 is rewrite it. Now we are actually identified and everything, and now we dissolved it, right? Like, you're no longer attached to that. So the third thing is that we are going to rewrite it. So now the pain and struggle, no more nothing, okay? You work hard, that's fine. And sometimes you have to work hard, sometimes you get busy, and that's what it is, right? And then when you're especially trying something new, it's difficult, and then that's what it is. You practice, that's no big deal. As long as it's not tied to this deep meaning that is holding you back since the fucking 7 years old. So what we need is rewrite it. How do we rewrite it? You rewrite about yourself. And there's a bunch of ideas about yourself, right, in identity level. This is who I am, and then you can describe it. And now you have to understand every idea or every identification or every conceptualization of yourself needs to be completely changed. Yes, you're stepping into a different person. Quite literally, you're becoming a different person. So let's focus on the business, right? And there's a few things that we can say. How much do you worth? So if you're charging, let's say, $3,000 or $5,000 for your coaching, that's your self-worth. Raise it to 10K. Raise it. Raise your worth, okay? So now I'm worthy for $10,000 for my coaching, right? And then what is your income? Your income is also part of your identification because it consistently creates that realization as well as like acknowledgement in your deep subconscious. Therefore, you identify yourself as my income is this, like I'm, you know, 6-figure or whatever. So your income and feeling too, like how do you feel every day? And this is so important because the feeling creates your actions. Okay, affirmation doesn't teach you shit, but your own action will. Your own action is way more powerful than these stupid morning routine that you've been doing for 2 hours every single day, which I'm guilty. I've been doing that for years, okay? I've done that so many morning routine, and my morning routine was like 5:30 a.m. waking up, 6 a.m. already at the park, and I'm working out. And journaling, meditations and everything, and it's already fucking what, 9 a.m. and then when I start working. That's how intense I was, you know, when I was like deep into self-development, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna change my life. And I realized my financial growth, and then as well as like, you know, making millions of dollars and handling a different business in English and Japanese, and creating not only just my own result, but creating the insane result for my clients is not coming from 2 hours of morning routine. It came from the feeling. So, you know, when you have something so excited, so excited, for example, like my case, I would wake up 7 a.m. right now, okay? And it could be 6 sometime, it could be 7. So let's say whatever, 7 a.m. I wake up 7 a.m., right? And then I basically do meditation and do whatever I need to do, and then, you know, I just start working. But if I have a surfing plan with my friend, I would wake up 4 a.m. no problem. It's fresh, boom, instantaneous. But in normal days, you wake up at 4 a.m. and you'll be like, no, I don't think I can do that. Fuck, I'm gonna sleep. You know what I'm saying? If you're so excited about what you want, what's happening, then you can perform way better. So for me, it's easy to wake up 4 a.m. and surfing plan. Even if I sleep at 1 a.m. the last night, I can wake up, boom, my energy level is so high. Boom, surfing, fun, yes. The feeling creates the power. Feeling creates your actions. And then it pushes you to even perform better. You can tap into the zone easily. So what is the feeling that you feel? And why are you so excited? So the goal. It's very important, goal, G. So feeling and the goal. So you rewrite your identity around this area, and specifically, then what happens is you understand now what kind of person are they. And then if you are already achieving this goal, who you would be, what kind of action would you take, right? And then if you're feeling that right now, what would you do and how would you behave? If your income is already that level, what would you do and how would you behave? And if you are charging so much, then what would you do, what would you say, and how would you behave? So now we have to actually calculate backwards from this future self, okay, and then bringing that future energy from the future and now fast and manifest it in an energetic level today, right now, in this present moment, because change happens right now, okay? A lot of people, if you look into fucking YouTube and shit, people tell you like, oh, change takes time, good things takes time. But what is good things and what is bad thing? So getting betrayed by somebody else is bad things and therefore it takes no second. But then making $1 million takes fucking 10 years. No, they're limiting beliefs of somebody else. Things doesn't take time. Why? Because energy travels beyond time and space. Physical dimension, it takes more than energetic space, but it's still instant. So that's why I went 100K per year to 100K per month in 6 months. That's quick enough, right? And then within a 12 month, I already made $2 million. So if that, I used to think that, you know, Like that shit takes more time. But that was my limiting beliefs because I've learned from all these people on the YouTube. But change happens right now. So what kind of change you're making? The change needs to be completely aligned with your future self. Once you're aligned with the future self, then what happens is you're in a different timeline and then you're becoming a completely different person. And therefore you are now tapping into the $1 million frequency. The $1 million frequency is made by 3 things, okay? Mind, body, spirit. So I gave you this exact step in this formula and a secret that I actually personally do and I teach client, and now you have to do this. However, in a bigger scale, you have to understand that mind, body, and spirit needs to be completely in alignment. Because if your body is fat and then really body is just so unhealthy, eating stupid shit, then your body has a bad low frequency. Obviously, you're not aligned with the best version, right? And then your mind, you feed good stuff, okay? You feed healthy meal for your mind. And spirit, you need to awaken your spirit, because this is where the most energy can come from, okay? The life is born from you. You need to awaken your spirit, you need to control your mind. You need to understand how to use your mind. And then you need to understand that also body radiates magnetic field. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, and now it's time to awaken your spirit. So now if you're an entrepreneur and want to grow your revenue, perhaps you're also stuck like me, 10, 20K per month, 100K per year, something like that, want to 10x your income, want to get to the $1 million frequency and actually manifest the wildest dream of your life, then apply from the link in the description. This is going to be a very exclusive coaching, so you're going to speak to me or my team, and then we'll walk you through exact step formula and how we actually help clients and how we grow together. With that said, I genuinely hope that this will help you to get to the next level, okay? Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell, because it helps me so much to reach more people so that I can help more people. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.